Welcome to the Highly Sensitive Podcast. I'm Lauren LaSalle, and I'm a former therapist. I'm a highly sensitive person and a self-care and empowerment coach for highly sensitive people. My goal for this podcast is to create a feeling of community, to be a supportive place for HSPs, and to normalize our experiences as highly sensitive people. Because I'm pretty sure we've all spent way too much time feeling like we're weird or don't fit in. Well, guess what? Here, you fit in perfectly. This podcast will give you tools to better understand yourself, to help you learn how to care for yourself as an HSP, and to start viewing your sensitivity as a strength. Thank you so much for joining me, and let's begin. Hello, everybody. Today, here in New Hampshire, it is a rainy, cold day, and I'm just waiting for the warm days to come. They'll come. Spring here is just all over the place, so it's sort of a weird season, but anyway, I hope you are doing great. And the episode that I have planned for you today was a suggestion, and I think it's a great suggestion, and I'm sort of surprised I actually haven't covered it yet. So today I will be talking about 10 things that non-HSPs will want to know about when they are in a relationship with a highly sensitive person. So if you are dating a non-HSP or you're married to one even maybe, this might be a good episode to share with them or listen with them. So then you can actually have a conversation about the points that I bring up and maybe where you see them in yourself, in your relationship, and things that your partner can do to support you, or they might have questions. So here we go. Number 1 is we feel everything very deeply. We experience emotions on a deep level, which means that we don't take relationships lightly. So if we love you deeply. And I think sometimes that can tend to cause us to jump into relationships faster and deeper than the other person is, which can sometimes cause problems or sort of like a lopsided relationship because we really want to be there for them. We want to be with them a lot, maybe. And so sometimes this might be a little off-putting for the non-HSP, but we don't mean to do this in a bad way. We are just feeling so deeply that we just want to express how we're feeling, and sometimes that comes across in a way that is not quite comfortable for the other person. And that also means that we are affected by things like tone, energy, and emotional undercurrents more than most people are. And I will sort of get into this at a later point. So I'm just going to leave that one at that. Also, if you hear my cat meowing in the background, I don't know what his deal is right now. I think he wants my other cat to play, but my other cat is taking a nap in my office. So now one of my cats is just meowing and running around like a little crazy boy. Anyway, sorry if you hear that in the background, but here we go. Okay, number 2, alone time is not rejection. So we HSPs need regular solitude to recharge. Even those extroverted HSPs need solitude to recharge. And it's not about pulling away from you, from the non-HSP. It's about maintaining emotional balance. So being respectful of our need for downtime is a huge part of a relationship. And that will help us show up more fully in the relationship when we're able to have that time to ourselves that we really need to be able to process things, to just sit or do whatever we need to do in that time where we're not having a bunch of stimuli coming at us. We really need that time to be able to fully process, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, process the things that we have been through and experienced during the day. So we need that alone time. It doesn't mean we don't want to be with you. It means we just need time to ourselves before we can really be fully present in the relationship. Number 3 is sensory overload is real. So bright lights, loud noises, Crowded spaces, strong scents can all be overwhelming to us. It can differ a little, obviously, depending on the individual person. And if we are in a sort of sensory overload situation and we seem overstimulated, we're not being dramatic. It's really affecting us that much because that's just how our nervous system works. So low-key, cozy environments are often more ideal for connection with HSPs than maybe the typical environment that non-HSPs enjoy going to. So that is just something to keep in mind when you are either dating or in any sort of relationship with an HSP. Sometimes we do want to be with you, so we want to go and do what you want to do. And sometimes that's just too much overload for us, and maybe we'll have to cut it short, or we won't say anything because we don't feel like we should say anything, and we'll just sort of suffer through the environment and the overstimulation, and that's not good. So being aware that your HSP partner really takes in all different kinds of senses in a deep way is really, really important to remember. Okay, so number 4 sort of goes back to a little bit that I was talking about in number 1. So number 4 is we pick up on your moods, even the unspoken ones. So we are highly tuned to emotions, even the ones that you don't verbalize or share with us. So if something is off, we will sense it. And sometimes we sense things that people are feeling when they are not even fully aware of it, which can feel a little weird to them, I think. So just know that we're trying to talk to you about how you might be feeling because we are picking up on something, even if you don't feel it in yourself, which can feel weird. But sometimes it can also be really, really a positive and a helpful thing in a relationship because we're so in tune. So open communication is so key because if we feel like something's wrong, but we don't know what, our minds go into over-analysis mode where we will come up with something that might be happening or multiple reasons for what we're picking up on. So be open with your partner, like both sides. Communicate how you're feeling and just what's going on, because I think it's hard to be the person who is picking up on things and not knowing what's going on. And then I'm sure it's hard to be the person who, like, your partner is overanalyzing, like coming up with all of these stories about what might be happening, but you don't even realize it. So they might be feeling all of these intense feelings, maybe feeling anxious or whatever, because they are interpreting the situation in such a way that might not even be accurate. So communication is key. Number 5 is deep conversations matter. HSPs really crave meaningful conversations and emotional depth. We are not so much into small talk. It's fine, but we feel the most connected when we are talking about feelings, values, and big picture ideas. So don't be surprised if in a relationship we sort of just jump into maybe deeper topics than you are used to talking about with people. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that one, I guess. Number 6 is criticism hurts more than you might expect. Because we feel so deeply, even constructive criticism can sometimes feel really intense for an HSP. And it's not because we can't handle feedback. We just need it to be delivered in a certain way with kindness and reassurance that you still love us and respect us. So delivery really does play a huge role in how your words impact us, and also the level of healing that you've done, I think, for yourself as an HSP. It can help you not feel so personally attacked sometimes, because sometimes things that people mean in love and kindness really can feel like we're being attacked or spoken down to, or we just take in a bad way. So that is a really big thing to be aware of. If you have something to communicate to us, don't be afraid to communicate it, because that's important. Just be aware of the way in which you are communicating it to us. Number 7 is conflict can be overwhelming. So HSPs often try to avoid conflict because it can feel emotionally and physically exhausting. And if we need to withdraw during an argument, we're not trying to ignore you. We just might need time to process our feelings before we respond. Going back to feeling things deeply, picking up on everything. So conflict can be very overwhelming. I know that even for me watching TV shows that have a lot of conflict or arguing, I can feel that and it feels really uncomfortable and upsetting for me. So being in an argument or some type of conflict is also really uncomfortable for us. I think we can sort of maybe feel the same way, whether it's us in the situation or it's not, which is very interesting. So just know that we might need some time to process and cool down before we feel like we can actually have a conversation with you about what is going on. And I guess I should also add that because HSPs tend to try to avoid conflict, this is where some of those people-pleasing behaviors can come out, because we just want to make the other person happy. We don't want them to be upset. We don't want to disappoint them. We don't want to cause an argument. And so that, I think, is also something to be on the lookout for in relationships. If your HSP partner is always agreeing with you, maybe it's time the two of you had a conversation about, it's okay if you disagree. I respect your ideas and your decisions too. And I would like to be able to really openly and fully communicate and I don't want this to lead to conflict, but I really want you to be open with me and let me know how you are also feeling. Number 8 is rushed decisions can be stressful. HSPs tend to be very thoughtful and intentional. So any last minute changes or decisions that feel really pressured can feel really overwhelming for us. So obviously when you're feeling overwhelmed, not the best emotional state to be in when you are making a decision. So we really appreciate patience when it comes to making any kind of choices, whether they're big choices or small choices. Just be patient with us. Number 9 is we love deeply, but we also need to feel safe. So HSPs thrive in relationships where we feel emotionally safe. Consistency, honesty, and emotional availability in relationships all help us be able to fully open up and trust. And number 10 is thoughtfulness goes a long way. So small gestures like a heartfelt note, maybe setting up a cozy night in, or even just acknowledging our feelings mean the world to an HSP. We appreciate when our sensitivity is seen as a strength rather than a burden. And that's another reason that I thought, wow, I really need to do this episode, because I think it's really important that non-HSP partners, or just if you have an HSP in your life, that the non-HSP learns a little bit about what HSPs need, what helps us feel good and thrive and really succeed, because obviously our relationships play a huge part in how we feel just in general and how we feel about ourselves as well. So I hope you will share this episode with a non-HSP in your life. Like I said at the beginning, listen to it together and talk about some of these points. And maybe something came up where you say, oh, we do need to have a conversation about that. So I hope this episode can be a conversation starter in relationships to help you really build a deeper, more connected and understanding relationship. And if you are listening to this on Spotify or YouTube or somewhere where you can leave a comment on a specific episode, I would love if you have something that I didn't include in here that you think it's important for non-HSPs to know about HSPs when you're in a relationship. Please leave that in a comment, and then other people will be able to see that as well and learn from that too. While we're on that note, if you could rate and review the podcast wherever you listen, that would mean so much to me. I really have the most amazing reviews on Apple Podcasts. Like, they all are just so powerful and really mean so much to me. And thank you for those people who have left them. I'd love for anyone who feels inclined to at least rate the podcast, leave a review if you would like. It really helps other people looking through podcasts know that this maybe is a podcast that they think they would connect with and want to start listening to. So thank you in advance for that. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Highly Sensitive Podcast. You can help support the podcast by taking a minute to rate and review it, share a favorite episode with a friend, or become a subscriber on Patreon at patreon.com/highlysensitivepodcast. Visit laurenlassalcoaching.com for free resources, information about my coaching programs, and to join my email list. You can connect with me on Instagram at selfcarewithlaurenlassalle or email me at lauren@laurenlassalcoaching.com.